Hey there, and welcome to a deep dive into e-commerce psychology.
Oh, cool.
Today, we're going to be unpacking all the ways online stores build trust with their customers.
Okay.
Whether you're about to launch your own e-commerce project or just fascinated by how those add to cart buttons get us every time,
Yeah.
this one's for you.
I think what's really interesting is how online shopping has to work so much harder to earn that trust.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah.
You walk into a store,
Hmm.
you can see the products, you can chat with staff
Right.
online.
Yeah,
It's a whole different ball game.
it's true. I remember the first time I bought something online,
Oh, yeah.
I was so nervous about typing in my credit card details.
Oh, my gosh.
It felt way riskier than handing it over to a cashier in person.
Right.
That's what the research calls the trust gap, right?
Exactly. That gap between the convenience of online shopping and that inherent hesitation to trust a website with our personal information.
Right.
And bridging that gap is where the real psychology comes in.
Right.
It's not just about security measures.
Uh-huh.
It's about creating an emotional sense of safety for the shopper.
Okay, so let's dive into that.
Okay.
If I'm a customer landing on a website for the first time,
Right.
what are some of the things that will subconsciously make me feel more secure?
Sure.
I know the source material talked about this. System 1 thinking,
Yeah.
which is like our brain's instant judgment system.
Yeah. System one thinking is key here. It's that split-second impression you get. And research shows it's heavily influenced by visuals.
Okay.
For example, did you know that using a specific shade of blue, like a calming teal in your add to cart button, can actually trigger feelings of security and increase clicks?
Really?
Yeah,
I had no idea the color could be that specific.
it's interesting.
I guess that makes sense, though. Certain colors just feel more trustworthy, like the deep blues a lot of banks use.
Right.
But are you saying everyone's just judging a website based on its looks?
Well,
What about those customers who take their time,
yeah.
read all the reviews, compare prices?
That's where system two kicks in the more logical, deliberate part of our brains.
Okay.
But even then, that initial system one impression lingers.
Uh-huh.
It creates what psychologists call the halo effect.
Okay.
If your website looks polished and professional people assume other aspects of your business are equally solid, even customer service or product quality.
So a beautiful website makes everything else look better. That's a pretty good reason to invest in good design.
I think so.
But what about that emotional security idea we talked about earlier?
Sure.
Is that all about visuals too?
Visuals play a huge part, but it goes deeper than that.
Okay.
Remember, online shoppers can't experience your products physically,
Right.
so you have to evoke the right emotions through your website.
Oh, okay.
Think about walking into a physical store.
Uh-huh.
If you wanted to buy something calming and luxurious,
Right.
would you be more likely to purchase in a store with loud music and harsh lighting, or one with soft music and gentle lighting?
Definitely the one that felt more peaceful. You're saying online stores need to think about that same kind of atmosphere.
Exactly. This is where the concept of emotional contagion comes in.
Okay.
It means our emotions can be subtly influenced by our surroundings,
Yeah.
even online.
Yeah.
If your website uses a soothing color palette, clear fonts, and high-quality images of people looking happy and relaxed, visitors will subconsciously start to feel those same emotions.
So if you want to sell relaxation products,
Uh-huh.
your website shouldn't feel like a chaotic Times Square billboard.
Right.
It's got to match the vibe that makes a lot of sense. But before we get too deep into design, let's step back for a second.
Okay.
Why does all this trust stuff matter so much in the first place?
It boils down to this.
Okay.
Trust is the currency of e-commerce.
Mm.
Customers who trust you are more likely to buy from you, less likely to abandon their carts, and more likely to become repeat buyers.
Right.
In a crowded marketplace, trust is your unfair advantage.
And that can translate into higher sales, better customer loyalty, basically all the things an e-commerce business dreams of.
Exactly.
Perfect. This deep dive is powered by Growth Suite, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Growth Suite helps you run smart discount campaigns on your Shopify store. Test it for free on your Shopify store. Just head to the Shopify App Store and give it a try. Now, back to the show. What are some of those visual cues that can make a website instantly feel more trustworthy?
Well, think about it like this. You walk into a store and it's messy, disorganized signs are falling down.
Oh, yeah.
Would you feel comfortable pulling out your wallet there?
Probably not.
Same goes for a website.
I see what you mean. You wouldn't trust a store that looked like it was about to fall apart. So why would you trust a website that felt that way?
Exactly. So first impressions are huge. A professional design, clear layout, using those high-quality images we talked about, It instantly signals to the visitor that this is a business that cares about details.
So it's not just about being pretty, it's about looking credible. What are some other specifics that signal trustworthiness?
Think about those trust badges you see everywhere online, the Norton Secured logo, the verified by Visa symbol. Those aren't just there for decoration. Studies show they actually reduce anxiety for shoppers, especially around payment forms.
It's like that little extra reassurance that your information is safe. But do people really pay attention to those tiny badges?
They do, maybe not consciously, but it goes back to that system one, thinking it's like seeing a security guard at a bank. It just makes you feel a little more at ease.
Okay, so we've got the professional design, the trust badges.
Mm-hmm.
What else can an online store do to show they're the real deal?
Think about this. Would you be more likely to trust a company that hides its contact information or one that proudly displays its address and phone number right on the homepage?
Probably the one that's upfront with their contact info. It makes them feel more accessible and accountable.
Exactly. It shows they're not trying to hide anything. The same goes for certifications or awards. If you've been recognized by your industry or a trusted organization, flaunting it. It's like having a seal of approval from a third party, which can be super persuasive.
It's like those as seen on TV labels. They might be cheesy, but they work, but design is only part of the picture, right? I mean, words matter too. What about the tone and language a website uses?
You're hitting on a crucial point. Think about your About Us page. So many businesses treat it as an afterthought, just listing dry facts and figures, but it's a prime opportunity to connect with customers on a human level.
Because people don't trust faceless corporations, right? They want to know there are real people behind the brand.
Exactly. Share your company's story, why you started, what you believe in, introduce your team, highlight their expertise. Use photos that show personality, not just stiff corporate headshots.
It's about showing the heart and soul behind the brand. And I bet the tone of voice matters too, right? You wouldn't want to sound like a robot reading off a script.
Right. No one wants to feel like they're talking to a corporate bot. Keep your language clear and conversational. Avoid jargon or technical terms that might confuse people. It's about making the customer feel welcome and comfortable, like you'd greet them in a physical store.
This all reminds me of that annoying fine print you see on some websites, especially around policies in terms of service. It feels like they're trying to hide something.
That's a trust killer, for sure. Transparency is key when it comes to policies. Your privacy policy in particular needs to be crystal clear. People are rightfully concerned about how their data is being used.
So no sneaky data-grabbing tactics or burying important information in legalese?
Absolutely. Not explain things in plain English and give people control over their data. Let them easily opt out of things they're not comfortable with.
It's about showing respect for your customers' privacy, not just trying to cover your own back. What about other policies like returns and shipping? Should those be super detailed, or is it better to keep things simple?
Again, clarity is key. No one wants to wade through pages of dense text. Keep it concise, highlight the important points, and use visuals if possible. For example, a simple icon that shows free shipping over a certain amount can make a huge difference.
It's about removing any potential points of friction for the customer so they feel confident and informed at every step. Speaking of confidence, how do you actually prove to people that your online store is a real deal beyond just looking nice and sounding friendly?
That's where social proof comes in. It's incredibly powerful.
Okay, social proof as in, I hear that term all the time, but break it down for me.
It's the idea that people are more likely to do something if they see others doing it too. Think about it. You're more likely to try a restaurant with a long line out the door than one that's completely empty. Right?
Yeah, I guess so. You figured that many people can't be wrong.
Exactly. It's the same psychology. Online customer reviews, testimonials, social media shares, they all act as a sort of virtual stamp of approval from other people.
So if I see a product with hundreds of 5-star reviews, I'm more likely to trust it, even if I've never heard of the brand before.
Absolutely. It taps into that innate human desire to follow the crowd, but there's a catch. Too much perfection can actually be a turnoff.
You mean if every review is glowing and over-the-top positive, it starts to feel fake?
Exactly. A few slightly critical reviews, as long as they're constructive and not just ranting, actually make the overall feedback seem more genuine.
It's like anything in life, a bit of contrast makes things more believable. But just reading reviews is one thing. Are there other ways to make social proof even more impactful?
Absolutely. Think about video testimonials. Seeing and hearing a real person talk about their positive experience with a product is incredibly persuasive.
It's like having a friend recommend something. It just feels more authentic and relatable.
And don't underestimate user-generated content. Encourage customers to share photos of themselves using your products or write about their experiences. It's the ultimate social proof because it comes directly from real people.
It's like building a community around your brand, which reinforces that sense of trust and belonging for new customers.
This makes me think of the customers also bought sections you see on so many websites. Are those playing into social proof as well? Absolutely. It taps into that herd mentality. We see others making similar choices, and it makes us feel more confident in our own decision. And if you can layer in endorsements from experts or influencers in your industry, that's even more powerful.
So a celebrity chef raving about your cookware set or a skincare guru recommending your serum, that's a whole other level of social proof.
Exactly. It adds that extra layer of credibility and authority. Now, so far we focus on the visual and emotional side of trust, but we can't forget about the technical aspects, especially when it comes to sensitive customer information.
Right. All this trust building goes out the window if people are worried about getting their credit cards stolen. So how does an online store prove they take security seriously?
This is powered by Growth Suite. Growth Suite helps you run smart discount campaigns on your store. Test it for free on your Shopify store. Just head to the Shopify App Store now and test it for free.
Interesting. Thanks. So what about security?
Well, the first step is having a solid SSL certificate, which most reputable websites have these days. But it's not enough to just have it. You have to understand why it matters to the customer. Well, the first step is having a solid SSL certificate, which most reputable websites have these days. But it's not enough to just have it. You have to understand why it matters to the customer.
Because most people just see that little padlock icon in their browser and don't really think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But subconsciously, it's sending a powerful message. It's like that padlock on your front door. It's a visual cue that says, this is a safe space. When a customer sees that their connection to your website is encrypted, it reduces their anxiety about sharing personal information.
So it's not just about the actual technology. It's about what that technology represents to the customer, peace of mind. What else can an online store do to reinforce that feeling of security?
Using a secure payment gateway that people recognize and trust is huge. If your checkout process is trying to redirect me to some weird unknown payment provider, I'm out of there.
I've totally been there. It's an instant red flag. You want to see those familiar logos? PayPal, Stripe, Apple Pay. It makes you feel like you're in safe hands.
Exactly. And it's not just about the technical stuff. You also have to be upfront and transparent about how you handle customer data. This goes beyond just having a privacy policy. It's about making sure people understand what information you're collecting, how you're using it, and giving them control over their preferences.
So clear language, easy to find settings, maybe even a little explainer video if you're collecting more sensitive data. It's about building that trust through transparency.
You got it. But even if a website nails all of that, there's still that element of risk that comes with buying online. You can't try things on.
Wow.
You don't get that instant gratification of walking out with your purchase. How do you address that lingering hesitation?
That's a good point. What can you do to make a customer feel more comfortable taking that final leap of faith and hitting the buy button?
That's where risk-reducing strategies come in. Things like money-back guarantees, free returns, hassle-free exchanges. They all send a powerful message to the customer. We're so confident you'll love this product, we're willing to take on the risk.
It takes away that fear of buyer's remorse, which can be a huge barrier, especially for online purchases. I know I'm way more likely to buy something if I know I can easily return it if it doesn't work out.
Exactly. And if you want to go above and beyond, you can even offer things like purchase protection plans that cover damage or theft during shipping. It's all about adding that extra layer of reassurance.
It's like you're saying, we've got your back no matter what. That's a powerful feeling for a customer.
Yeah.
But we've talked a lot about the big picture stuff, design, social proof security. What about those little details that can make or break the user experience?
Oh, those are crucial. Think about it. Have you ever been so frustrated trying to navigate a clunky website that you just gave up and went somewhere else?
All the time. It's like if you can't even figure out how to find the product you're looking for, how can you trust them with your money?
Exactly. So intuitive navigation is key, clear categories. A search bar that actually works helpful. Filters, it all contributes to a smooth and enjoyable experience which builds trust.
And a smooth experience means a happy customer, which means a higher chance of a sale. Any other little things that can make a big difference.
Don't underestimate the power of breadcrumbs, those little navigational links that show you where you are within the website structure. They might seem insignificant, but they help orient the user and prevent that feeling of being lost in a digital maze.
It's like having a map in a shopping mall. It just makes the whole experience less stressful. But what about when things go wrong? Let's say I need help with an order or have a question about a product. How does customer support play into building trust?
That's a crucial moment of truth. If a customer reaches out for help and gets a slow response, or worse, no response at all, that trust is shattered.
Because it makes you feel like they don't care about you once they have your money.
Exactly. So, responsive customer support is a must. Live chat is amazing for providing instant help. But even if you don't have the resources for that, make sure you're responding to emails promptly and thoroughly.
And a well-structured FAQ section can go a long way too. If I can find an answer to my question quickly and easily, it makes me feel like the company has anticipated my needs.
Absolutely. It's about demonstrating competence and showing that you value your customers' time now, even if you get everything else right. There's one final hurdle where trust is really put to the test, the checkout
Oh
process.
yeah, the dreaded checkout. I've definitely abandoned my cart a few times because the checkout process was just too complicated or confusing.
It's a major pain point for a lot of shoppers. A
Yeah.
clunky checkout is like saying, we don't actually want your money. You've got to make it as smooth and painless as possible.
So clear steps are progress indicators so you know where you are in the process. A guest checkout option for those who don't want to create an account. What else?
And please, for the love of all that is holy, eliminate any surprises. The order summary needs to be crystal clear, with all costs included upfront, no hidden fees or last-minute shipping charges popping up out of nowhere.
Because that feeling of being tricked is the fastest way to destroy trust.
Exactly. At the end of the day, a smooth and transparent checkout experience is a sign of respect for your customer. It shows you value their time and appreciate their business.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of commerce psychology. We've covered everything from the psychology of first impressions to the nitty-gritty details of the checkout process. But how does someone actually put all this knowledge into action? It feels a bit overwhelming.
It's a lot to take in for sure, but the key is to start by honestly assessing your own website. Put yourself in the shoes of a first-time visitor.
Hmm.
What's your gut reaction? Where are the potential trust gaps?
So do a little self-audit, compare yourself to your competitors, and maybe even get some feedback from actual customers.
Exactly. Once you've identified those gaps, you can start experimenting with different strategies and see what works best for your brand and your audience. The beauty of the digital world is that we can test and measure everything.
A/B testing, heat maps,
Hmm.
user testing sessions. There are so many tools available to help you understand how people are actually interacting with your website.
And that data is gold. It takes the guesswork out of the equation and allows you to make informed decisions based on real customer behavior.
So don't just rely on your gut feeling, get those numbers to back it up. But this isn't just a one-time fix, right? Building trust is an ongoing process.
Absolutely. It's about constantly evaluating, refining, and adapting your approach as your business grows and evolves. And the landscape of e-commerce is always changing too.
Mm.
What are some of the trends we might see shaping the future of trust online?
That's a great question. The source material mentioned a few things like the growing importance of artificial intelligence. Is AI going to be the key to hyper-personalized shopping experiences, or is it just going to creep people out?
It's a double-edged sword for sure. On the one hand, AI can help tailor product recommendations, streamline the checkout process, and even provide 24/7 customer support. But on the other hand, there are legitimate concerns about data privacy and the potential for AI to be used in manipulative ways.
So companies will have to be really transparent about how they're using AI and give customers control over their data.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that trust could erode pretty quickly.
Absolutely. And we might see blockchain technology playing a bigger role in building trust, especially when it comes to things like supply chain transparency and counterfeit prevention.
Because if you can track a product's journey from its origin to your doorstep, that adds a whole new level of authenticity and reassurance.
Yeah.
It's like having a digital fingerprint that guarantees its legitimacy.
Exactly. And we can't forget about the evolving expectations of consumers, especially younger generations. They've grown up in a digital world where transparency and authenticity are paramount.
All right, they can sniff out BS a mile away.
Yeah.
They're not going to fall for slick marketing tactics or empty promises. They want to see genuine values, ethical practices, and a commitment to social responsibility.
Exactly. Building trust with these consumers is less about shouting your message from the rooftops and more about fostering genuine connections and building a community around shared values.
So it's not just about selling products anymore. It's about building a brand that people believe in and feel good about supporting.
You've hit the nail on the head. And as regulations around data privacy continue to evolve, it's going to be even more important for online businesses to prioritize transparency and ethical data practices.
It's not just about checking boxes. It's about baking those values into every aspect of your business. This has been an amazing journey through the world of e-commerce psychology. We've covered so much ground. But I think the biggest takeaway for me is just how crucial trust is to success in the online world.
Absolutely. It's the foundation of everything. Customer loyalty, repeat purchases, positive word of mouth without trust. You're building your business on shaky ground.
And the great thing is building trust is something that's within every online store's reach. It starts with understanding the psychology of your customers, making smart design choices, and committing to those core values of transparency, authenticity, and respect.
You got It's not always easy, but it's absolutely essential.
So to all our listeners out there, remember, trust is your superpower. Invest in it wisely, nurture it carefully, and watch your e-commerce business flourish.
And don't forget, if you want to supercharge your Shopify store's trust and sales, check out Growth Suite.
Head to the Shopify App Store and test it for free today. You won't regret it. This podcast was powered by Growth Suite. Until next time.